Well, it's been a couple weeks since Avengers Endgame was released in theaters, and I feel like it's been a long enough time for me to finally talk about how I feel after the movie came out. And just a spoiler warning for the movie in case you haven't seen it at this point. Yeah, it was everything I wanted it to be. It was literally everything I wanted. I walked into this movie wanting three things. Just three things and I'll be satisfied. The rest of the movie could be terrible. All I want are three things. I said I want Cap to pick up Mjolnir. I want for him to say Avengers Assemble, and he has to get that last dance with Peggy. I said, I don't care how you get that stuff, just get it to me and it'll be fine. And they did it, and it was great. And honestly, it just left it. After the movie was over, I saw it with my wife, and I was super happy. I mean, I was clapping in the theater, I was shouting and everything. Like, it was one of the best theater experiences of my life. But as we were leaving, my wife's like, are you okay? And I said, I don't know, I just feel kind of empty. I don't know why. And then I realized, I said, I've waited for that movie for 10 years. Like, 21 films of build-up to get to this. And honestly, I just don't really care that much about the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward, because there's just no way you can gonna top that. Like, how can you top it? And I said, honestly, I would have been fine if they just, that was the last MCU movie for this particular universe. Like, would have been fine with me. I just don't see how they could possibly top it. And like, you know, Spider-Man Far From Home, it looks good. I'll go see it. I'm sure it's gonna be great, but you're just never, in my opinion, you're just never going to be able to top that. I mean, there's so many amazing moments, so many great character arcs that finally got finished, and it just doesn't matter anymore. Like, I don't, at least I'm gonna keep seeing superhero films. I'm still a comic book geek and everything, and you know, and it's been great following the universe all this time, but I just don't see what they could do going forward. I mean, it'd be cool if we finally got a good Fantastic Four movie. Maybe Doctor Doom was done right, or something. But it just doesn't matter anymore. Like, at least for me. And I said, if anyone else is feeling this way, please tell me, because like I mean, again, like, I know they're gonna make good movies going forward. I know that's gonna happen. But I'm just not as invested, because a decade of my life following this storyline, which was all built to Thanos and what happened in this movie. Like, that was the through line of that entire thing. Now that storyline's just over, and now I'm supposed to care about something else. Like, and if they do get something that's bigger than that, it'll just be a repeat of what they already did. They already did it, you know? And yeah, honestly, it's just been kind of depressing. I know there's going to be other great movies that come out in the future, and I'm sure that even Marvel will have some, but like this movie, I just don't see. And even with Star Wars, like, you know, I remember when a new Star Wars movie came out, it felt like an event, but now there's so many of them, and The Last Jedi was just terrible. It's like the MCU felt like what it must have felt like back when the prequels came out. Because I remember when Episode 3 came out, I was like, wow, this is it. This is finally going to culminate the whole thing. And I was like, wow. And it's done. And again, like, The Force Awakens I really enjoyed. The Last Jedi, let's not talk about The Last Jedi. But, like, I'm not even excited to see the next one. Like, I mean, it looks cool, I guess. But there are few film franchises that can make you feel the way that the MCU made me feel about looking forward to Endgame. And I have no complaints about the movie, like, at all. Not one. No, I thought it was great. Now look, it just left an empty feeling inside. But does that mean that there's not more things in life to look forward to? No. And in fact, I know that there's so much more to life than movies. That's definitely true. And the thing is that movies, like, you know, they're great experiences, but they're never ultimately going to fill you. But there was one thing about Avengers Endgame, just one thing, that I'm like, this is the greatest event in my life, in cinematic in cinema, considering cinema in my life. That was the greatest. But I was like, you know, when Captain America, he's gone toe-to-toe with Thanos, he's using Thor's hammer, just beating him down, and then he gets walloped, and it looks like he broke something, and I was like, Cap, get up. He always gets back up, and that's what I love about Captain America. And it's like, and then the whole of Thanos' army, and he's standing there all by himself, and I'm like, he's gonna fight this entire army until he dies. And I was like, awesome, because that's who Cap is. He doesn't quit. He said, I'm gonna fight till my last breath in order to do what's right and to save who I can. And I've always loved him for that. I loved that character so much. And I really loved how his character got to end in this movie. I'm very satisfied with that. But then something amazing happens. Portals from Doctor Strange just start opening up. And all of these characters from all of these movies that we've loved are just coming out, and they're standing behind Cap. And it's so emotional. The music swells. All these faces that we remember, all these people who we watched die in Infinity War, they're back. And then Captain America says, Avengers assemble, and they all run down this hill and destroy every enemy in their wake. Just gone. It was amazing. But I actually saw it before, and it wasn't in a comic book. I said, there's a righteous one standing, and behind him is a whole legion of an army that destroys everything of evil in its wake. I said, I've seen that before. I've seen it. And I want to read it to you now. When the Lord Jesus is revealed from heaven with his mighty angels in flaming fire, inflicting vengeance on those who do not know God and on those who do not obey the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ, they will suffer the punishment of eternal destruction away from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his might, when he comes on that day to be glorified in his saints and to be marveled at among all who have believed, because of testimony of you who believed. Avengers Endgame was pretty great, and that scene that I love so much is just a picture of something that's going to happen in the future. There's coming a time when there's going to be a righteous one, and behind him is standing a whole legion of angels. And not only that, he's bringing with him all the beloved saints that we've lost over the years. They're coming back, and evil is destroyed in his wake. Destroyed. If you want to look forward to something that's more exciting than Avengers Endgame, look forward to that and prepare for it. And the best part is that after it's done, after evil's destroyed, we're just gonna marvel at this righteous one, Jesus. He's the ultimate hero. The ultimate hero.